Hello everyone, this is Nat Green from natgreenonline.com. A few days later, they upgraded and I made $1,000. Okay, so this past weekend I did an exercise, and I've done it a few times before, and what's interesting with it is I keep having these huge breakthroughs when I do it, and each time it's something different. And I shared actually another video before, which, depending on how long you've been following me for, this one was probably, my most well-received video. It talks in depth about some things that I had going on, buried in my subconscious with my relationship with my mom, and it's, basically been something that's been holding me back since I was 12. Now, I'm not going to go into depth, about that in this video, but I'll probably link down below so you can check that one out. But I did basically the exact same thing, but I did it a little bit differently, and I want to share that with you because, so many people, myself included, and there's a good chance that probably you too watching this, we have self-limiting beliefs, and there's stuff that's happened to us in the past that holds us back for whatever reason. And sometimes, we think that we have all those things in check, where in reality that's not the case. Now, I'm somebody that's very confident. I'm usually very outgoing, and I know that I can do a lot of things. But what's interesting is that I've had some periods recently where I haven't been all that productive, and I knew that there was something holding me back, but I didn't quite know what it was. I kind of had some ideas, and I did an exercise where basically it allowed me to uncover it. But I also actually added some steps with a new exercise that is something that my girlfriend actually does, and I'll give you some information about that as when I get to that point. But basically the idea is to realize what your goals are, of course, right? And for me it's making $30,000 a month, and then of course from there you want to basically chunk it down. When you hit that goal, what is that going to do for you? Okay, and so what I was doing previously was I would think about something, and I tend to overthink things, and maybe that might sound familiar, and might ring a bell for you. And what I did differently this time was I had a big pad of note paper, and whatever came into my mind, I just wrote it down. I just wrote it down. And then, the next step is, what is that going to do for you? And then what's that thing going to do for you? And what's that thing going to do for you? And you want to really dig deep and get to the bottom, and of course that's to find out what your why is. Now this time I knew I had to uncover something differently, and I didn't want to think about things too much, so I just wrote things down and I went with that, and I wrote another thing down and I went with that. And basically what I got down to was something where, when I was younger, and this does tie into the first exercise that I mentioned about talking about my mom, because what happened when my mom left, my middle brother and myself, who was the youngest, who I looked up to my middle brother a lot, we both kind of turned bad, right? And that just happens sometimes, from being young and going through a divorce, and a lot of people can relate to that. Now for me, I ended up doing a lot of bad things, and I'm not going to go into detail about each and every one of those things, and the point is really, it doesn't matter, I mean, I was young, I was silly, I was stupid, I was impressionable, and I did a lot of bad things, and I was generally a good person. I was just a good person that did some bad things. And I made money illegally in a couple different areas, and again, I'm not going to get into it. That doesn't really matter. You can use your imagination if you want, whatever. But I did things to hurt people. I did steal some things, but it was never from people that I knew. It was just, randomly stealing stuff. And again, I know that's bad. Don't judge me because of it, if you want to go ahead, I guess. But I used to say to myself, years later, of course, that once I grew up and smartened up, and that I never regretted doing any of those things, because I learned from them, and I realized, of course, that I'm a better person, I guess, because of those, because now I don't do any of those things, right? But the key point that I realized in doing this exercise, and again, it ties back to my mom. With my mom, I'd never forgiven her for doing what she had done. I understood why, but I never actually forgave her. So I got together with my mom and I forgave her, and we had a good chat, and now I've put that chapter to rest. But my point is this, is that I never forgave myself, even though I didn't regret it because it made me who I am now. these things were holding me back, and I realized that because I had never forgiven myself, deep down in my subconscious, I felt like I wasn't worthy of a few different things. Okay, I wasn't worthy of really having a lot of success. Now, I've had all sorts of, success in my life, but I know that I'm capable of much bigger things, as are you, right? And until we address these self-limiting beliefs in ourselves, that, our silent talk that we have going on in our head is holding us back from something. And in this case, it was holding me back from doing the activities on a more consistent basis that I knew, I needed to do in order to really achieve huge success in my life. And so what's interesting is through the process, I realized all of these different things that I wasn't worthy as far as making money legitimately, because I'd made money illegally in the past. That maybe I wasn't worthy of friendships and love because of how I've hurt people and I did bad things to bad people. But the next day I did this exercise with my girlfriend Amanda, and she's a facilitator of many sorts. And there's an exercise called The Work, who was created by a lady by the name of Byron Katie. I'll post a link to a website of, it's actually not Byron's, it's another colleague of my girlfriend's, who outlines the process very well. And the idea is this: basically, first you address your self-limiting belief, right? Whatever it is. In this case, I'm not worthy of huge success because I've done these bad things and I'm a bad person, even though I'm a good person. It's just my subconscious saying I'm a bad person. And then basically you want to flip it around and say, basically, do I believe that absolutely to be true, that I'm a bad person? Well, of course not. I know I'm a good person, and I know that those things that I was doing back in the day was, one, because I was young and stupid and impressionable, and two, was because I didn't have a lot of guidance in my life, and I was probably acting out from hurt because I felt abandoned by my mom. And again, I'm not putting the blame on my mom, okay? I have to take responsibility for everything I do, as do you, okay? You can't be the victim in your life. You have to know that you are responsible for everything in your life. You are responsible for everything in your life, and I am responsible for having the blocks and not coming to terms with the things I did before, and forgiving myself, and for realizing that I am worthy of everything that I want in life. And so anyway, basically you want to, flip the switch as far as, okay, that statement, that self-limiting belief that I have, do I believe that? Well, of course, no, I don't. And I generally and truthfully don't believe that I'm not worthy, okay? And so if the opposite of that is true, what would that do for me? How would that serve me? And how would that make me feel? And of course, you want to ask those questions to yourself individually and break them down. And so for myself, okay, well, I don't feel very good about, not being worthy. And you actually want to, take a second and reflect as far as like, what does that feel like? Does my heart feel like I'm sinking? Does my, do I start having, heart palpitations, or do I get sweaty or uneasy, or do I feel a pain somewhere? Those types of things, and address that situation. How does it make you feel? Okay. Like I said, I'll link down below, because I know that I won't describe the process as good as, the people who actually, teach it or facilitate the process do. But the idea, and what I came up with, and this is what's interesting, is that a lot of my friends who knew I did these things at that point in my life, when I was much, much younger, they're still friends with me now. They know that I did these things, but they still, admire my friendship. They still look up to me as a good person. And so it's like, okay, well, I'm worthy of their friendship because they're still my friends, One of my ex-girlfriends, and big shout out to her, that, I did some bad stuff to her, and again, I'm not going to get into it because the details don't matter, but she's still my friend. She's forgiven me. She still supports me. She's come to, my birthday parties years later, and so it's like, okay, even though I did bad things to her, she's still my friend, and she still sees the good in me. So I'm worthy of her friendship and and her trust now, right? So it's like, if she can forgive me, certainly I can, right? Because I made money, illegally before, I had this mental block that making money, legally, of course, I wasn't worthy of that. And the thing is, I mean, I've made lots of money in other things before. In my previous job selling motorcycles, I've made lots of money online doing internet marketing, again, just not at the levels that I want. And so yes, I am worthy of this. And even as an example, last night I was on our team hangout. There was like 1,800 people or so, and you know, I like to think I did a good job on the hangout last night, and I had a lot of awesome you know, compliments. People were saying that I was levitating, that I was dropping bombs, and you know, I had a lot of new connections. People were following me and, you know, friending me on Facebook and all that sort of cool stuff. So obviously I provide value to people in that respect, at least those people thought so, and so I must be worthy of that, right? And one of the things that my girlfriend pointed out, and this is funny because I didn't see it, she was the one that actually had brought it up, but Amanda is an incredibly beautiful, incredibly smart, and just the most amazing woman ever. We've been together for over 6 years now, and we have an incredible relationship, and I'm worthy of her love, you know? So it's like, I have all these situations, and there's more that I could go into, but the point is that, you know, looking at this, the situation or that limiting belief in a different way made me look at, well, hey, I am worthy in so many different ways in the eyes of so many different people of having success, of having love, of having friendship. Then it's ridiculous for me to think. It's not only that it's not true, it's absolutely ridiculous of me to think that I'm not worthy of any of those things, right? And so I felt so awesome being, you know, I just felt like I was free after that. I mean, because like I said, I had kind of like hinted mentally at some of these things before, and I kind of addressed it, but I didn't really put the connection together until I did these exercises together that I was just telling you about. And I feel so much more free now because I've realized what it was, you know? And although it's only been a few days, I've been a lot more productive. I've got a lot more energy in things. I'm a lot more passionate about things because I know that I deserve it. I know that I deserve success. I know that I deserve love and friendship, and I deserve everything that I want in life, okay? Now, for you, that might be a different thing, okay? This doesn't necessarily have to be about self-worth, although it is very common that people don't feel that they're worthy of attaining their goals, okay? So whatever it is for you, I suggest doing that exercise, figuring out, you know, what your why is. Don't overcomplicate things and don't overthink things. Just write them down. What is my goal? What's that gonna do for me when I hit it? And then just keep going down and down. Keep asking that same question. And there really isn't an end until you start crying or until something, you know, slaps you upside the face and touches a chord and you're like, damn, I uncovered something there. You'll know it when you get to it, okay? And you know, again, it doesn't matter if it's self-worth or something else. We all have, you know, things that are holding us back, or you know, it doesn't have to be, you know, massive things, but there's things that are holding us back in life, and until you address those things, until you know, put them behind you, whether it's forgiving yourself or realizing your worth or whatever it is, you're not going to be able to really, you know, strike a chord and get to that next level that you deserve to be at, okay? And then, you know, reframing things, which is really, in my opinion, what the work is all about, right? It's reframing how you look at things. And okay, well, if that's not true, then what is true? How does that make me feel? How does this serve me better? And what will, you know, happen when I believe this to be true, right? And so again, to sum it up for me, it's I truly believe that I am worthy now. And now I'm doing you know, proclamations and affirmations every day where I look in the mirror and I say, I am worthy. And I put feeling into it, just like I just said it right there. I am worthy of having success. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of friendship. I am worthy of everything that I want in life because I deserve it, because I'm a good person, because I'm constantly working on myself to become a better person and helping to inspire other people. And so are you. You are worthy, right? Look in my eyes right now. You are worthy of everything. And so if you have things that are holding you back and you know there's something there but you don't quite know what it is, then I encourage you to do these exercises and work on them and figure out what it is so you can put them behind you and move on. And here's one of the biggest takeaways that I want to leave you with right now, okay? Even though our past dictates who we are, at least who we have been up until this point, The past does not dictate the future. Okay, let me repeat that. The past does not dictate the future. So your past and maybe some circumstances that have happened to you or happened as a result because of you, because like I said earlier, you are responsible for everything that happens in your life. Don't play the victim. That card does not work for you. Okay, you are not a victim. You have brought things upon yourself, and I know that that's hard to hear sometimes. I know it is. So knowing that your past does not dictate your future, right? It might have led you up to where you are right now and who you are at this second. All you have to do is make that shift and change yourself, to change the way you look at yourself and to change your actions, okay? It's never too late to become a new, better version of yourself, and that seems to be my tagline lately, is to become a better version of yourself, because I have been working on becoming a better version of myself. And I mean, I've grown so much, and I feel like I just need to share this information with people, because I know if people take this information and apply it in their lives, they will become a better version of themselves, and they will have huge personal breakthroughs just like I have, okay? I know I'm not the only one that's ever gone through the parents getting divorced. I know that I'm not the only one that has, self-limiting beliefs as far as worthiness, right? And, and here's the whole point of me sharing this. If I can help one person come to a realization that they can put that bullshit behind them and move on and become a better person for it, then that's what it's all about. And just think that if you can do that and have that same impact on other people, then the world is a better place for it. So that's really all I wanted to say in this video. I know it's been a bit of a mouthful, but I think it's a really powerful lesson. It's done, wonders for me already, and I'm looking forward to so much incredible stuff coming up, just because I've been able to put that stuff behind me now. So I challenge you to take this information, do the exercises. Again, I'll put a link down below for the information on the work, just to describe it a little bit better than I probably did, but put it into your life and make those changes in your life. Put the bullshit behind you. You let it go. Let go of your baggage. You're not a victim. You're worthy of everything. You can achieve everything in life that you want. You absolutely deserve it. So get out there and make life the best life that you can. You deserve it. Thanks for watching. If you got some value in this video, which I'm pretty sure you did, then please share this with other people. Repost it on your wall, retweet it, whatever, because I know this is a powerful message that can help people change their lives, and I would appreciate it if you did that. And of course, I would love to hear if you do this and what kind of things you get out of it. That would just make me feel so awesome to hear that I've helped you being able to break through. That would be so cool. So again, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you're on YouTube watching this, because there's gonna be a lot more awesome videos like this as well. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.